Dus we moeten eigenlijk een beetje zo zitten dan.
No.
Naar elkaar toe.
Hello everybody. We're here in Portugal for a year now, so we thought it would be nice to do a recap about our first year off-grid in Portugal.
So how have you experienced your first year living off-grid in a foreign country?
The country is really nice, so I really enjoy Portugal. And the off-grid living has some challenges, but still I think we made the right choice.
What kind of challenges? What was the biggest challenge you would say that you have experienced
From living
this last
off-grid?
year? Yes.
Yeah. One of the challenges of living in a foreign country is that I do not speak the language fluently yet. So, and the older people, which are a lot of them, don't speak English at all. The younger people do, but it's kind of a old town with old people, so it's hard to communicate. We're learning, but it's one big challenge. So yeah, but I think in a couple of years we will speak Portuguese fluently, so that problem will be solved, right? Living with no power is not a challenge at all. I thought it would be harder, but we have more than enough.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest surprises, I think. A pleasant surprise.
Yeah, pleasant surprise. Yeah, we use a lot of energy though.
We do, yes, we do
with
use
the washing
we have
machine
yeah.
and.
Yes, but it doesn't, especially the washing machine, that surprised me the most. It doesn't take a lot of energy for the washing machine. And I wash every day. My babies wear cloth diapers, so I wash every day. But that's not the biggest energy user.
No, it's the water cooker and the cooking in general that
Yes.
takes up a lot of energy.
Hey, whoa, whoa.
Two cats fighting here, you cannot see, but even when it's a cloudy day, we had some cloudy days or this winter.
Never ending, it felt like.
No, indeed.
It felt like the rainy days and the cloudy days were longer than the summer days, but I guess that's...
No, that's not true.
No, it's not true, but that's how it feels,
Yeah,
right?
but still, we managed to collect enough power with our solar panels to do what we want to do. And well, if we didn't have enough power, we just connected the generator for an hour or two, and batteries were full again. So
it does cost gasoline, which costs money, so that's not preferable, of course.
Not ideal, no.
You want to just live off your investment, which is our solar system. So,
but still, during the winter, the days that we have to connect the generator weren't that many. So
I think we have more advantage of our solar system than...
We have more advantage than disadvantage from the solar panel. Yeah. We've got running water and loads of it.
Oh, that was a pleasant change.
Yeah, it was pleasant. It took about 2 or 3 months
before we
built
the water.
Before we built the kitchen and before we had running water, and also the washing machine. So that was a good upgrade. Yeah. The only thing I miss is a shower. We got a shower, but it's
an outdoor shower.
It's an outdoor shower, yeah, and it's pretty cold in the winter, so it's not pleasant at all to shower. But one of my next projects will be building a shower with hot water. So living off grid here is like living at home. We have all the same advantages.
Except very different.
Yeah, well, if you look at power, water...
Well, let's define living off grid. So
yeah, well, for me it's not connected to the grid.
Only in water and electricity, so
yeah,
you can go completely off the radar if you wish to, but that's not our desire.
And we're not connected to the sewer, you know.
If anything happens to power companies or to the water companies, then...
We will not be affected at all.
No. That was our whole idea of being off grid. Yeah. Some people are completely off grid, off the radar, and we are not. So that's fine.
We have internet. We have
Is there anything you miss? Do you miss home? I say home because this just feels like home actually.
Yeah,
so
it does. Yeah, I don't want to go back.
This is where home is. So home is where you are. So
yeah. So what was the most challenging thing for you?
I think adjusting to a new environment. Around 2 months ago, I finally landed, which was nice. Today we were out and about, and I really had a moment where I thought, yeah, this is my home. We have big plans for the future and even bigger dreams. And I thought, yeah, oh, even though I don't speak the language fluently yet, I am positive about the future.
Yeah.
Even more so because I'm a Christian. So the most challenging thing about this new life is the mind, I think, because your mind will tell you that the grass is greener somewhere else, or that you can't do it, or it will plant seeds of doubt maybe when you're tired, because with two small children you can be very tired. And a lot of work to do, but
And about off-grid living?
not having the basic utilities ready yet. Like we have a small traveling compost toilet,
Yeah.
which is nice. Well,
It does
not
its job,
really.
right?
It does its job.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just purely functional. It's not what we want for the long term, but it works. Sometimes you have to just get over it. And the fact that I can't take a hot shower
Yeah.
when I need it the most,
Yeah.
like in the cold days, cold
Yeah.
rainy days.
Yeah.
I think just the seemingly small things like having running water, which we do now have,
Yeah.
but having a separate kitchen, having a separate space, shower space or toilet space, I didn't think I would be bothered that much about not having them. So, and other than that, it's nothing you can't overcome.
No.
So, plus you have to keep your eye on your vision, on your purpose, on the vision you have, on the vision we have for our future, why we are doing this. We have a clear vision of what we want and where we want to go. You know, it just takes time and you have to be patient.
Yeah. Work hard and be patient. Yeah.
Yeah, just keep working at it.
Yeah.
Work, work, work.
Yeah.
And all work works, so...
We work a lot, so.
And already we are seeing the fruits of our labor with the goats and the milk they provide,
The
and the
chicken.
meat they will provide eventually, and the chickens and the eggs they provide. You know, our children and the joy they get from
Living here.
living here and living with the animals and living with the chickens. Mees loves his chickens, so they are definitely getting a childhood that I would love to have, I think, as a child.
Yeah.
Because they have no fear whatsoever. A lot of people ask us, aren't you afraid because of the dark or something? Well, we are the only ones living outside the village in the valley itself. I think everyone always asks us, aren't you afraid? But if everyone's afraid, then no one's going to come here.
No, I
Besides,
think so too.
you only have to fear God. So.
Yeah, true that.
And also, I see that in my children. They are not afraid, not of the dark, not of the animals or the insects they encounter or the wildlife that comes through.
No.
They are just so curious and wanting to discover, and it's really good to see how humans were originally designed before fear came in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fear and shame. So that is nice.
What are your biggest surprises of living here last year? Things you did not expect.
So what I did not expect was for it to be so cold here.
No, during wintertime it can get really
Also,
cold here. Yeah.
If you don't have central heating, when
That's
we
the
were
thing.
living in the Netherlands, which is just one big city really, you have central heating in every house, and even though it is winter or summer, the central heating is always at 15, 16, 17 degrees Celsius, which is just a fair temperature. You know, you can just walk around in your pajamas and with no problems. But that is not the case here, not at all. If it's cold outside, then it will be cold inside, unless you keep the fire going
During the night,
which
that's impossible.
no, which we're not going to
So
do.
we had some very cold mornings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the coldest morning was 8 or...
Yeah, 7 degrees Celsius. Yeah.
In the morning?
In the morning. Yeah. So we woke up 7 degrees Celsius. It had frozen all night.
Yeah.
It was, I think, -4 outside during the night. So
Yeah.
it's still
That was
pretty
pretty
decent
cold.
difference in temperature, but cold
Still
nonetheless.
cold,
yeah.
But it was
But,
fine.
Yeah,
we
you
were
put on
all
the
tucked
fire
away
and
together.
yeah.
in one big bed, so it was
Yeah,
fun.
and when you put it on the fire, it gets warm pretty quickly. So
It does get harder to get up earlier.
Yep.
And we were used to just get up early and start our day. But you have to surrender more to your surroundings this way, which is, I think, the more natural way.
yeah,
Because when the sun goes down, we get tired and we want to sleep. And when the sun goes up, we get up
Energized,
and
yeah.
feel energized and ready to start our day. And in the winter, when it was still dark and cold, you just want to
Lay in
keep
in your
sleeping
warm bed,
until it's
yeah.
time, until it's warm enough to get up and do
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it's pretty hard
which
to get
is
up.
pretty logical, I think.
Yeah. So in this part of Portugal, which is north of central Portugal, let's say, not completely in the north, but it gets really wet. It was raining almost all winter. We had a pretty warm January, even reaching 20 degrees Celsius, but all the other months was cold and very wet.
Oh, the humidity.
Yeah, and the humidity is
Yeah.
ridiculously high.
So we did not expect to move to Portugal. Initially, we wanted to go to Hungary, but that didn't work out. And so, but the new adventure had already started. Our house was for sale. I was pregnant, and so that clock was ticking. So we had to decide where we wanted to live then, and wanted to start our new life. And Portugal was it. And so our time frame was getting smaller by the day. So we didn't have enough time to do a very deep dive into, okay, what is the surroundings and
the climate.
and what kind of climate is it, how's the economic situation, etc., etc. That's why the humidity took us by a big surprise.
Yeah, it was a big surprise for us indeed. Yeah, but when we thought of Portugal, we thought it was always warm, dry, hard to grow things. More like a desert climate.
The things you see in like vacation advertising.
Yeah, and it is that way
Also,
in the south of Portugal. But where we are, it's green. It's easy to grow things, but it's also
it's
very wet and with a very very high humidity. Even so high that it's hard to keep the moisture out of the house. We've got a dehumidifier. We've got the wooden stove, but still it's just damp in the house during the winter. So
yeah, it can get so bad that when you wake up, your clothes are just wet.
yeah, well,
Which is
damp. Yeah, no, not really
well,
soaked,
damp, yeah.
wet, but
Wow.
damp. Yeah.
When you're already cold, you don't want to wear damp clothes.
No, no, it
You
doesn't
just
help.
want to. So that was for me personally. I really dreaded that. So one of our future plans is to restore this ruin where we are sitting in now. So we are already thinking, okay, how can we prevent the moisture as much as we can? Doesn't matter how much work it takes. We do. I had to throw out a lot of clothing or other items because of the mold that was forming.
Yeah.
So, which is also bad for your health.
Yeah.
So that was also I thought that was very challenging.
Yeah, I think
Also.
that's the most challenging part of living
Yeah.
here in the house that we live in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also because we have our windows are
single glassed. Yeah,
Yeah. So
So-
that's also a thing.
yeah, something that will change in the future. For now, it's a problem, but the winter is as good as gone. So
Yeah, we survived.
it will be spring really soon. So yeah, we survived our first winter, and we learned a lot about the climate.
Yeah.
And
But
especially the humidity.
yeah, the climate and our neighbors and ourselves, you start seeing things more in perspective of what really is important and what's really not.
I think so too.
So what took you by surprise about living in Portugal?
Yeah, well, the humidity, of course. The climate in general surprised me positively, I must say, except for the humidity then.
Yeah.
And cost of living surprised me. The groceries are cheaper than what we used to in the Netherlands. Still not really cheap, but cheaper than we were used to. But for instance, tools are really expensive. Cars are it's not
Wow.
normal. We were looking for a car.
As if it's a different reality.
Yeah, it's
It's like, what? It doesn't make sense
No.
at all.
no. they sell pretty old cars with a lot of mileage or kilometers on them for a ridiculously high price.
There was a car from my birth year, 1988, and it had like over 500,000 of kilometers on the
Yeah, on it. Yeah.
They sell it for over 10,000 euros.
The price
which
is
is
10,000 euros. Yeah, yeah.
I think in the Netherlands they wouldn't even sell
No.
that car.
No,
That's insane.
with that kind of kilometers on it,
Yeah.
it's ready for to go to the graveyard. Let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, our car broke down. Here they have a gas service where they fill up your tank, and they put in diesel instead of gasoline. So the car had some problems.
Yeah, it
Didn't start anymore,
No.
and there was oil leaking from the exhaust pipe.
Yep.
The guy who towed our car, we asked him, "Do you think it's worth it to get our car fixed?" And he was like, "Sure, yeah, you should definitely get it fixed." Now we know why.
Yeah.
Because cars are so expensive here.
But it did
Even
get...
if it costs you the cost of your car, it will be still worth it.
Yeah. So, and an additional advantage of Portugal is that the labor costs are very low. The cost of getting our car fixed was pretty cheap. But yeah, there was a surprise for me, the cost of tools and
Toys.
toys. Yeah, toys are really expensive.
Yeah, I'm not sure why though.
No.
It's all made in China, right?
Yeah.
What is the biggest change you have seen in yourself after the great move, going off grid, building things yourself, becoming more self-sufficient as we grow? What are the biggest changes you have seen in yourself?
Well, the stress level, because I had pretty high stress levels in the Netherlands. When I had my office job, it was really stressful. Well, we had our own company, and that was pretty stressful too. But here it's more, relaxing. We live more.
And by relaxing, we do not mean like sitting on our
No,
butts
still.
every day, but
Yeah, still.
it's a different kind of stress. It's stress, I guess. Stress on the body because
Yeah.
you're moving your body more, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But
We work hard still, but it's more to...
it's not really stress.
No.
Not
it's-
stress in the same sense.
No.
I think. What do you think?
Yeah, me too. Yeah, and the environment.
Oh yeah,
It's much better.
just an instant stress reliever.
Yeah.
Waking up, going outside, just seeing nature and green, and the mist always creeps up in the lake and the valley.
Yeah, in the morning, yeah. No cars, no people, way more relaxing. So that's a good change, right? And what about you?
Big change?
Yeah.
Oh well, I think my biggest change is that I'm less scared of my irrational fears have almost but gone. You can ask my sister. I was even scared of just a moth because everything smaller
Little spiders.
than a
yeah.
kitten was just terrifying to me. And now this year I have gained a more deep sense of gratitude towards everything that's living, I think.
To nature,
Instead of trying to kill insects or anything that I don't like, I just try to remove them from my space
Yeah.
and put them in their own space more.
Okay.
And also I'm seeing things more in perspective. Things that aren't really that bad, actually. Life is pretty good, actually. If you live life the way it's meant to live,
It's meant to
it
be,
will be a reward. Everything will be rewarding. Every seed you plant, of course you can have a bad crop every now and then, but
Or it gets
or it gets
flooded
flooded.
away, yeah.
If you're doing it the right way, nature will give you abundance. God will give you abundance because that's the way
It's created.
it's created
Yeah.
to give abundance. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was this has been the hardest year of my life ever in my entire life. But I mean that in the best sense of the word hard. Because I have become a more complete person, I feel like. Also, I think motherhood or parenthood in general will do that to you.
Yeah, I think so too.
That will also make you into a new person, I think. But in combination with this off-grid life and living in a foreign country, I'm very pleased. So, what would you say for viewers who are watching who are wanting to live a sort of lifestyle like we do, or just begin a new life? What do you look for? Where do you start if you want to start a new life? Living
Well,
off
it
grid
depends
or
what kind of life. If you want to live an off-grid life like we do, then I think that what you must be looking for when you get property is if you have enough space to do what you want to do. Like we want to keep a lot of animals and grow our own food and grow our own wood for building material and for the wood stove. Then you have to make sure you have enough land and enough trees, enough water whole year round. Pretty important.
fertile soil.
Fertile soil, of course. Yeah, has to have a building permit so you can build our own house. We were lucky; there was already a house. Yeah, and the climate, if it suits you or not. Yeah, what do you think?
You should mentally prepare that if you want a different life, then you should expect a different life.
Yeah,
I
you will
think-
get a different life.
Yeah. Well, not all, but most people undertake such a journey because they want a different life. Obviously, you will come across situations you have never encountered before, which can take you off guard or take you by surprise. But I think keeping your eye on the vision and the purpose you see in front of you for yourself, for your children, for whatever your dream or your goal is, to keep that in mind, I think.
Yeah.
Because the mind is a tricky thing.
Yeah.
Don't let the doubt
Fear.
and fear stop you from trying to reach your goal. For the first time in my life, I can actually see the dream more clear, and I can actually see it happening.
Yeah.
I can actually see ourselves moving towards that goal. And that's really new, I guess, I think. We don't have so much distractions here as we had back in the Netherlands. We have a lot less social gatherings now and less distraction, and
Yeah.
that's the biggest takeaway I have, I think. And I'm really excited for the future. So we want to thank you all for following along on our journey. We are very grateful and thankful for all our subscribers and everyone who comments.
Yeah.
And honestly, we are just surprised people are wanting to watch us do all this normal, fairly, to us, seems normal and mundane things. But we hope it glorifies God, because He has given us everything. He's leading us every step of the way. And we are very grateful for that. And we pray that everyone who is in limbo, trying to figure out if they really want this, or wanting to make a big move, start a new life, pray about it and work on it. And don't think too much about it.
Don't think too much. Just do it.
Just do it.
And it will happen. Building the dream. Right? Yeah. We will succeed. So, yeah. So thank you very much for watching. See you soon.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.